Hello, my fellow flyers. Welcome back to another week of FPV RAW. I'm your host here, Ruben Hadegi, and today I got a guest. Today, actually, I'm going to go ahead and trickle in. I'm going to eliminate all the BS and just go right on in, because we were talking, my special guest, Wai Lam, from FPV Podcast, and you guys are very familiar with him. He's been around before me, and he motivated me to start this. So we were goofing around, and we're talking about mics, and we're talking about, the Raspberry Pi and video games and playing with stuff like that we shouldn't really buy, but we end up getting it anyways.
Oh yeah. Today, my sole goal is to tell you guys how big of a nerd Ruben really is. He's not with the cool kids. He's not the wing guy. He's a true nerd. He is.
So I think on my end here, I think since I do have new listeners, let's go ahead and introduce yourself. That way they know and where they can find you and all that good stuff. And then just tell us your history. We'll do it that way.
Okay, sounds good. Well, number one, appreciate you inviting me on, Ruben. It's always fun to actually be on somebody else's podcast and, share our love of communicating and, just goofing around and having fun, right? With our fan base. So I just wanted to say that real quick. I probably joined this RC hobby when I was a kid, but I truly got back into it about 2 years ago, 2015. Somebody showed me what FPV was, and I was instantly hooked. It's probably Sharpoo, to be honest with you. Saw a few of his videos. It's like, you can do that? And then here I am 2 years later. And then, 2016, Drone Nationals. I see Ruben and these high-flying kids in their big wings, and I saw them. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I get it. I get why people like wings. They're loud. They're fast. They're kind of fun to watch, line of sight and stuff like that. So I totally get it. So here I am. I met Ruben. I probably met you. I passed you at Drone Nationals, and I probably met you really at Drone Worlds.
Yeah. That's when I saw you had the you had the Doctor. You had the arms with the GoPro and all the stuff.
I was trying to record, man. I was trying to get some content. Hey, here's the thing. All right. This is what I tell everybody about Drone Worlds. The people that won, the group that won were the wing pilots, because they got in early, they got to fly, and then they got out early, and then they can enjoy the rest of their day. Well, the rest of us, we were there the whole day, and we were muddling through, and it sucked. That's the second place, guys.
That's what I heard, man. I heard, and there was a lot of flyers there, and getting through the freaking gauntlet, the wave upon wave of mini quad guys. They're trying to get in and race, and there's a lot of people, which is actually amazing at one event.
It is, but you could tell, we can talk about this now, and kind of everybody knows that when we first arrived, you could really tell it was underfunded. There were a lot of things that you can say is okay, they're not prepared for this. Let's just be positive. Let's make the best of it, and we'll just go from there. Yep. I think most of us did. We didn't really want to bring down the event. It just, some of the international guys escalated because they spent a lot more money than we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The event that was there, it just, again, I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. To get everybody from all over at one location, like they did in nationals, it's to see everyone, holy crap. I'm so used to seeing these guys online and talking with them, and we need to meet up. And finally, an event like Worlds that has been in the making for a year or more, just building up. So everyone was planning, everyone was, there, whether it failed as an event, or set the precedent or present. Did I say that right? Precedent. In terms of what is possible, and it can always grow from that. So any new event or organizer that sees it, say, okay, that's an exotic location. What do we need to make it better? And, obviously more room kick out the AMA. No, I'm just kidding. Well, kind of, but get the space available and let us run our own thing. And that's what it should be. That's
Yeah, I totally agree. But I mean, that's past history now.
yeah.
With the with the FPV WRA trying to do their own thing. Really glad they're really getting into it. Hopefully they're have a successful season. Seems like they've already run a few races. So what about you? Have you actually joined this, or are you on the fringes of wanting to join this racing scene?
I'm on the fringes right now. Like when something new happens, the hype train, toot toot, and I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna sit back and just kind of watch and just see what happens. And if there's an event that's close by, I'll go mosey on down. You got the big bull and you got the young bull, and you got the valley full of all the other cows down there. I'm gonna mosey on down, just see what's because if you go to each event, it's expensive, and we both know it costs a lot of money to do this stuff. And I don't make a lot. I don't make a lot doing this, so I can't do it. I have to work full time to pay the bills. And if there's a close one, I'm gonna try to hit up some of them. One of them I will will look at if there's one in Las Vegas. I think if there's a close one, I'll see if I can persuade somebody to drive me down there.
What are you talking about? I see a car right behind you. You can drive yourself down. You probably mosey on down with like two juggernauts on your back. You look like a superhero with those things on.
Well, it's just the hard. I know. I said it before, but man, driving's tough.
I agree. I can't drive for more than 3 hours until I was like, I need to pull over. I need to stretch my legs, or I'm just going to scream and die.
Yeah, you're just going to do that whole stretching thing. It's just I don't know what it is. I'm a good co-pilot, but driving, focusing on the road, I get sleepy. That's how it is.
I totally agree. Now, let me ask you this, because I haven't asked any of the wing companies this. Have you seen an uptick in sales for like people that want to buy wings since all of this publicity has windfalled and all that?
On my end, not really. I've noticed. Well, mine has always been. This is kind of like my slow. My beginning of the year is always pretty slow for me. And it usually picks up towards the end, which is crazy. It's kind of weird. And since I've only been in business since 2014, so not too long, and each year has been getting very consistent because I'm trying to, get the name out there. And every year it's getting better and better. So this for me, it's been pretty. It's been so. I sold I think a flinch and a juggernaut, so not too bad, which is pretty good. It's a slow month, but
yeah. I mean, I've seen some of your Instagram videos in which you're flying low with, I think your run, or it looked like across a paintball field.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. That was really cool. You were going pretty fast too. I was like, well, I didn't know the run could go that fast.
Well, it can, and it's carrying a GoPro, a full size GoPro, and it's like what 168 grams, give or take, if it's got mud in the lens. But guys do buy those, but because the building and the CG on such a small wing is pretty tricky. Eli actually built it. I just kind of said, okay, shoot for this zone and put your stuff and mimic mine. And he's actually flying his. I think he flew his yesterday, so that was his maiden, and he flew it. So which was pretty cool. But it is a little bit trickier. I'll show you something that's. So this one here. Okay. And it's meant to be cheap, and the listeners can't see it, but I'm trying to get it under about a pound of weight with mini quad parts. Just keep it super dirt cheap, because a lot of the other companies, they want to make a product that's super cheap, right? They the spec wing is like $30 for the foam, and then it's like $60 with some parts. And then Right Wing is trying to drop their prices so they can kind of compete with the cheaper market. But then when you think about it, you still got to buy laminate, so that's like $30. So 130 turns into 160. So and then you got to buy control rods. You know what I mean? So there's that.
See, like if you look at the news out of Right Wing, it seems like he's selling stuff left and right. But he's got a really strong brand though. He's really well known for his like quality workmanship and stuff. But
Yeah, the one thing that he does do on the side is he does mapping rigs. So like a mapping rig is like $4,000 or whatever. So that's a different market for me to try to compete with, a company like that who's already been, making product and molded parts. Is something that I can't keep up with. So yeah, he's going to be pumping out molded, ready to go type stuff, and he has more equipment than I got. As you can see, there's just a table behind me.
Hey, seems like you're doing well for yourself. Plus, like everybody I've talked to, like since when we did that giveaway, there were so many guys that entered that already loved your Juggernaut, already had one. I'm like, why are you even participating? You already have a Juggernaut. You don't need a second one.
Well, I'm glad you're doing stuff like that, especially for your podcast and getting your brand out there, and that's when. Like the last podcast that I released, I try to do it like in the middle of the week, just like kind of like a short one, a short one. But just something that for guys who are listening to us that don't really have an idea, and to do like either like if you have a giveaway, do a giveaway to kind of promote yourself, because people always want free stuff, and they're like, okay,
true,
what's the company behind that? And you guys are doing that, which is awesome. So if there's any other companies who are out there listening, ask FPV podcast, why, or get a hold of Elvon and promote your product like that. And that's a good thing to do, because everyone's gonna know where to get a hold of you and bug you.
Like for me, I really stepped back and thought this over when it comes to like trying to earn money on podcasts, and I've realized that I just don't want to, because I want the freedom to be able to say anything that I want to say. And any giveaways that I do, literally I do believe in the product. I'm not going to give away a product that I think is junk, because believe it or not, I've been offered a few times that I'm like, I don't even know what this product is. I can't give it away because like I don't believe in the product.
Yeah.
So like, I only go so far, and like
that's perfect. That's a perfect mindset to be in, especially what we are seeing on like our feeds, our Instagram feeds, and our Facebook feeds is and yes, I'm gonna dig into Spectrum. I'm gonna get the big shovel out, but they basically threw product at people, right? They threw product at people. Now I can say it. You can nod. You can, I think you know what I mean. But they threw product at people and said, "Hey, this is good. Use it." And the people kind of agree with it, and they're like, "Yeah, this is nice." But real people who fly are like, "Dude, I need versatility. I need a product that I have it behind me." Sorry, I bumped the mic, but that I can mod the antenna super easy, that I can put a module in the back and use a Spectrum. I can use Futaba, JR, you name it. I can use that part in the back. The batteries, I can upgrade the batteries to like a 32. I think this one's actually a 3600. I
was about to say that's beefy.
Yeah, I mean here it is right here. Oh, it's a 3000 milliamp 2-cell. So open source. Fully customizable. They're upgrading the gimbals. So when you say, yeah, I want a product that works, I want to back it up, I totally am with you 100%. And for you guys just to, hold on to something, and don't let Big Brother push you around. You know what I mean?
Now, here, I got another question for you.
Shoot.
When you sell these wings, do you get a lot of emails from the people that buy your wings that have trouble building them? Because talking to Elvin, and we just did a podcast about building these things, like they make it into more of an art than a science. Okay, quad building is kind of like a science. Okay, sometimes, well, except for tuning. Tuning is voodoo. Okay, yes. Tuning is complete voodoo.
Yeah, you
but
need a
like
witch doctor.
Other than that, though, like quad buildings, connect A to B and don't screw it up, but like wing buildings, like CG, weight balance, all this other stuff.
It is.
You see people.
It is. I mean, okay. Now I've been doing this since 2013, and it's already 2017. Some guys do have problems building, and that's why I try to do a video so they can learn. And from since then till now, they've been doing really well. Some guys do have issues with CG because they want to put a flight controller, and the GPS on the flight controller is really heavy, and so they'll go ahead and put a lot of the gear on the back side of the CG, and you know, any millimeter or inch, you know, behind the CG mark, it starts to pile up, and so they don't really realize that. And then, you know, then I'll get a message, you know, I can't get it to fly right, and I'm like, well, you have about 1 inch of CG of space to play with. So, you know, once they figure that out, they're like, oh my God, like, it flies. I built it and it flies. So I get that. I do get that a lot. So, having those guys, I think they're going to be just fine. Plus we're not in a hobby full of Neanderthals. They're pretty intelligent guys out there.
I still have yet to commit to building a full wing yet, even though Elvin kind of like, so this is what happens, right? I think about building a wing. Elvin eggs me on, and then he wants the wing because he wants to go build it, and then I give it to him and I never see the wing. That's what really happens.
Oh, dude.
I'm kidding.
Alvin's like, son of a, he's better not be telling anyone.
I'm only teasing Elvin now.
Oh yeah, it's all love.
Story.
It's all love, dog. Don't even worry, man. But yeah, I mean, for you, like, because you've never flown a wing, right?
I have flown a wing. I've flown other people's wings, but like this was like I actually like attended a class to learn how to fly line of sight, because I was gonna do this. I was, 2 years ago, I was like everybody else. Oh, I'm gonna get my UAV license and I'm going to do this and I'm gonna make billions of dollars. And then you realize, no, that's not happening. So I did get a chance to fly a lot of the big fixed wings. I even flew a right wing, to be honest with you, because the training class had those available for us to train with. And I found them to be remarkably easy to fly. But like those guys were like charging outrageous amounts for you to build them. It's like, oh, hey, you want us to build this? 24 grand. I'm like, wait, this is a car? This costs more than my car. Okay, my car's like 19 grand, and I can stick this into the back of my car.
Yeah, you're like, so I got to drive this to the flying location, or how does that work? Do I get buggied in, or how? I mean, yeah. To me, that's almost to the point where I start to kind of like rebel against all the bullshit, and like the mapping companies were overcharging for foam, right? That's essentially what it was.
Yeah.
And like some of the companies out there who are like the EB, the what are the other? There's a bunch of companies. Again, usually when I'm on the spot, I'm trying to remember it. I don't remember it, but we'll take it into like the EB style, right? It's cheap, but it's 35 grand for the product plus X amount of dollars for the program, services, or whatever the hell they're selling. And like guys like you who want to get interested, they can't afford it. Like, it's like, why would I pay that much for some foam? And us being in the hobby, DIY stuff, we can figure it out pretty damn easy. Like, come on, that Kool-Aid ain't that expensive.
No, it really isn't. But like they're just trying to make quick money. I mean, that's just how the market is when it's brand new, and you realize it and you just back away. But I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that lost a lot of money buying this stuff, and they realize it's hard to make your money back, man. It's tough.
I mean, guys that guys that come to me, they go to the other manufacturers who are out there who are in my market, our market. They go to them, they say, hey, build me a rig, and they give them the price tag, and they go, whoop, nope. And so what happens is they go to me.
And you give them something more reasonable. It's like, wow, holy crap, that's a lot better.
So that's also nice because what's good is that they're actually shopping around. They're utilizing what's out there, and again, for us to do what we're doing, we're spreading the word out there, and we're not on any like TV shows. We're trying to use our outlets that are available to us to make us relevant out there in the business world. and it's working. It's working. So, hey, if you're going to overcharge something, it's going to bite you in the ass.
It
Pretty
usually
much.
does.
Yeah,
And like usually the companies stick around, and the ones that grow like you're doing, Ruben, is the ones that build quality products, and it's word of mouth usually. Like
Yeah.
people like your wing, and then their buddy gets interested and they might buy a wing and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
That in my opinion really helps.
Oh yeah. It's just showing it's showing that it works. So don't give them any bullshit. Oh, this is a new product. Buy it. And you're like, dude, I don't know about that. Like, I'm just going to wait and see if it's going to be all right. Cause if it's going to fall apart when you crash, and I don't want to waste my money on it.
Dude, like in the quad world, that's what I do every single time I see a ready to fly quad. I'm gonna be like, oh, look at all this fancy advertising. I was like, I'm gonna wait 6 months and see what the say, because it's usually an avalanche if like it's bad. And it's like, and once the hype is over, it's like this thing is crap.
I just seen a picture. I forgot, what was it on the Instagram? It was the Emax. It was this weird looking hex, had like square arms, and they showed a picture of it with a broken arm, and it was snapped in half. So they must have hit something really damn hard just to shear the arm right off. And it was a ready to go type of quad, but I was like, ouch, man, that's not a good crack right there. Usually a fracture would be nice, but it all depends on the crash and all. But it's thin material. You're looking at it close, and it's thin carbon fiber. Yes, they did.
Hurts.
They did box it in, but you're like, I don't know about that. Just don't know.
I tell you what, like we're trying to do a few videos about like if you want to get into FPV, what you should get. And literally, my answer nowadays is like, you need to go buy a Tiny Whoop. It's $200. It comes with a controller, and it will last you forever, or at least until you burn out the motors. Because you get one of these ready to fly quads, and you've never flown FPV, you're gonna break an arm, and it's gonna be a pain.
I mean,
so
go ahead.
One question for you. So if a new guy comes in and tells you, I want to build a wing, what would you suggest to him? Because I
usually send them on their way.
Are you serious?
Yeah, okay, I did recently here pretty soon, and it was actually two friends. They came to me and they go, hey, Ruben, I want to get into a wing. We fly mini quads. We've been flying for a couple months or whatever, but we want to get into a wing. And I'm like, look, I would suggest you either go and I still have the chain on my phone. I was like, go get like an S800. It's dirt cheap, or a pop wing, or I even told him, I said, hey, go get it's the Maxi Swift. It's like 54 inches. It's pretty big, but it's friendly. And I told him, I was like, look, go beat that up first. That way you learn. And then when you get something that I make, that you're gonna be like, you'll have a better understanding of what it's meant for. And they end up saying thank you, which is weird. I know I'm not a salesperson.
No, hold on. That's not weird, because that's genuine. And like many times people do not do that. Okay, that's very genuine. Most people don't turn out on the sale, Ruben. So that's really good on your side. I mean, well, kudos to that.
I mean, even recently, a guy was he wants this was the Juggernaut that I sold. I actually shipped it out today. He messaged me, which is nice, and he said, hey, I want a mapping rig, but I don't want to pay $10,000 for something. I was like, look, the Juggernaut has been around for a very long time. All the guys have used it. He's like, do you still have the Pathfinder? And I'm like, I was like, I just have like a couple like middle sections on hold. I just kind of cut them and leave them, but it's not a popular. It's not I don't keep it on the seller. Only if somebody is familiar with it, then they'll ask. And I was like, yeah, I got one over here. I was like, if you buy a kit, I'll just throw it in the box for you and let you do with whatever you want with it. And so, they're like, dude, they're like, thank you. And it's a weird response from me not selling him something that's X amount of dollars, or they like it, they in turn they enjoy that stuff. So being honest, it really does pay off. And as you know, being a salesperson and being an asshole, and selling a product that we know doesn't work, or they're just like shoving it down the social media's face, and we're like, dude, I don't know about that. Like, it's hard to jump on the train like that, especially when you know we've been in it long enough to see it.
It's tough, man. It's really tough, and it's one of those things where I don't know. I think we're kind of jaded a little bit. We've been around long enough, and we're not beholden to anybody. And like you have a regular job, and you treat this as a secondary job that you can take it or leave it any day of the week. So
Yeah,
that's nice.
Well, it's almost, remember when the immersion transmitters were out, the 5.8, the 600 milliwatts, and they were like 60 or 75 bucks, or they were expensive. And you waited a little bit, and they were like $50, and then now all these knockoff brands were coming up, and some of the brands are rebranded, but like I have two brands here. One is branded name brand, and the other brand is a knockoff, and I'm like, it's exactly the same thing. And so why would I pay $60 or $40 when I can pay 20 something bucks? It's all made in China. I mean, yeah, I'm supporting them, but God damn it, you motherfuckers, stop ripping me off. I'd rather get it cheap. If they're selling it cheap, you can put a sticker on it and have it be the same price. Like, don't rip me off. Don't fucking do it. I'll smell it a mile away like a salesperson. I know it. I can smell turkey. I'll smell turkey. So,
well, I think
this
there's
is the
something
stuff
to be said about that.
Talk about.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think at a certain point, like when you first enter a market with a new product, charging a premium is okay because people will pay for the new shiny, and that's okay because you have expenses to make new stuff. But as soon as in this industry, a couple of months is like 3 years. Industries, right? You have to start lowering your prices to compete because the clones are coming.
Exactly.
And when it comes, you don't really want to be double the price, because then people are going to figure out, how much are you making off me? And you continue to make off me, even though like the Chinese company is like, it's like saying, hey, we'll make a few bucks and we'll be okay.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to be real about it. And when a company is out there and they listen to you talk, like they're probably going to listen to, me talk. They're like, why, he's talking about the product and why is it so cheap if you go clones and you're supporting, the clone business, then, what's that saying about me as a person? But I buy stuff. I'm a consumer. Like I started there. And if people don't know, it's utilizing your dollars, conservatively to get the full fun of FPV. Like, you don't want to get ripped off,
Yeah, and like for me, generally speaking, because of like being very, like both of us are pretty public figures, so like I generally stick with the name brand, but I will not buy a name brand that is significantly higher than a clone, right? So I choose name brands that are, if it's within $5 to $10. And running a business in the United States is expensive, so you need to charge a higher margin in order to do it. But it cannot be like double. That's when you go like, "What's wrong? Hold on."
Well, this is now. This happened to me recently. I needed parts. I needed something that was a little bit higher voltage for a project that I'm doing. I'll probably show off a little bit later. But I had to buy ESCs, and none of the Chinese brands had a 100 amp ESC with data logging and little special features. So I had to go get name brand, which was Castle. Now, no disrespect to Castle. Castle makes really nice brands or really nice products. But I'm looking at the dollar per amp on their 100 amp ESC, and I'm like, it's pretty freaking expensive for a goddamn ESC. I mean, there's not shooting sprinkles out of the goddamn thing. Like, it's, I can buy another brand that's capable of it. But I'm like, guys, come on now. It's all made in China. Stop dicking me around. But I had to buy two. I bought two of these bastards. So it's like $300. So,
You know what? I've never had to buy an ESC that was that expensive, so I have no experience. You just said that price dollar amount. It's like, what? How much? Like, these just ESCs that are like $12.
yeah, they're these right here. I don't know if you can see that in your camera.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can see that.
You know, it's over $100, like $130 plus shipping, so or taxes and shipping. And then I had to put my standalone BEC just to be sure I didn't have any failures. But you're like, guys, and what's the even the heatsink isn't really that great. Like, I'm like, what the hell? So thank you, Hobby King, but at the same time, Hobby King's a dirtbag. So it's like, God, guys, come on. I mean, like, thank you for being out there. I do appreciate your parts and your competitiveness. But, you know, side note, when they do clone other shit that we see, it makes it like, guys, come on now. You guys are running an honest business. Just make nice parts that are cheap. But yeah, they want their fingers in everything.
Sorry, Ruben. That's not how the market works.
I know.
It's all right.
It's
hey, like we see companies that can charge a premium, and they do well and they still sell because people either A, love the brand, or B, they're super reliable. So there is something to say that, like, say you have X product that's double the price, but I know that that it's twice as durable. I can get twice the length of time or service using it. That might be worth it, so long as you convey that. So there is something to be said about that too. So
I call bullshit.
Oh, come on.
Okay, this is why a lot of times, like, I'll take that into consideration with you know, the stuff that I've acquired over the years, and even the one I took, the Juggernaut I took to Hawaii, and, you know, dive bomb. This was in 2015. Same servos, same ESC, and same motor. Performing.
It's a long time.
Yes, still working. And I even pumped it up to 5S. Still works. I mean, holy crap. That, to me, dude, that sets the bar for me and gives me confirmation to say, yeah, they're reliable parts. And then once that passes, I say, hey, you know, if you're looking for parts, look at these. So that's yeah.
Hey, I don't see Ruben's list of reliable parts anywhere, so you better pony up on a list. 5 years later, no list. I know how that works.
I'm kind of lazy, but I some people do ask me, and we'll send them links so they can go get it themselves. I won't sell it, even though they've been around for that long, but I won't sell it. Just because it's just stuff I got to keep track of and I got to buy a bunch of. I just want to stick with frames. That's all I want to do is make frames, and then you guys can accessorize it and decorate it and stuff like that.
Accessorize it. Hey, RTF wings, Ruben, 2017. I'm marking you.
Go get some. So let's talk about your YouTube page. I know I've been rambling off, and it's easy for me to do. But you have a YouTube page. You want to tell everyone about that one?
Yes. So my YouTube, and it's funny because it's just full of FPV podcast stuff nowadays because I've been so busy. I can't even vlog. I'll be honest with you. But, like, I love making videos, right? Like, I will freely admit, like, some of the videos I make aren't like the highest quality because sometimes you just want to convey a thought, right? And you can't shoot it perfectly. Sorry, I'm no Rotor Riot. I don't have a cameraman following me around. And nobody else edits my videos, right? But, like, I do like to create videos that, like, tries to convey a point, and I need to get back to it. But if you're on YouTube, just Google FPV podcast and you'll find my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Because it'll cover like 4 pages.
All right, I'll put that in the show notes. That way, I learned how to link, so I'll put your link there. That way, they can go to the link there and just click on you, and then they can subscribe and follow you.
I will say, though, since the racing season is about to start for drones, drone racing, there's going to be videos coming out that are going to be really high quality about the racing. So if you are interested in drone racing, definitely keep an eye out because we're really trying to push it this year in terms of quality. We're probably only going to have promo stuff at my channel because we're probably going to start another channel to show premium content, because like you can't mix like regular vlogging guy with a GoPro walking around and then like something you really try at. You just don't mix the two because people get confused.
But
what about you? Have you started your own YouTube channel?
I still have one. It's not as it's not as cool as the other guys. You know, it's just it's all right. But I mean, are you okay to talk about your events that are gonna happen in the future? Are you?
Definitely.
Okay. So let's spill the beans on that. Let's fill us in.
Okay, so actually, there's one event that I really want to talk about, and I want your take on it because this is a brainchild between me and Elvin.
All right.
And we really want to promote this and try to get feedback from the wing community, okay?
Okay.
We're going to have a race at the Kentucky Speedway, so it's a NASCAR track. We have the whole entire infield, right? And we have a lot of ground, and we would love to put on a team wing race. So it's not individual, so like 100 laps, okay? You show up with a minimum of 3 people, and your job is the first one to complete 100 laps wins. So there's going to be pitting involved, there's going to be spotters involved, and there's going to be a pit crew involved. And we really want to push that because last year, the team drone race was by far the most funnest thing to watch and the most positive feedback we got. So my question is the wing community ready, or do they even want this?
Let me see. I would say it's pretty easy because now the team can build 1 ship, right? Or 2 ships. I mean, you can build it if you had a designated builder, they can build it in time. And if you want to do like 100 laps, say you have like 2 ships that are designated for the laps and pre-built, you have a guy that's just charging batteries and slap the battery and land it out in the air in the designated area. Throw it, chuck it up again, keep going. I think it's possible. I mean, that way the pilot just stays stationary. Mm-hmm. Have your crew out there.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we need more than one person, right?
Yeah,
so there's going to be we say minimum of 3 because you need minimum of 3, right? You need a pilot, a spotter, and a guy manning the pits, charging the battery or switching the batteries.
Yeah.
Your battery should be charged, okay? Don't be charging batteries while trying to win a
I think it'd be a good idea. I think it'd be a good idea. Also, all the guys can have like, a chest cam, and you can, group all that video and then synchronize it and then have a pretty decent freaking edit. Or if the craft's big enough, it's gonna need to be big enough, right? I mean, you figure it's got to be a good size. Put some packs in there, get as many laps as you can, multiple cameras.
I'm telling you, that's what we're shooting for. It's like, and then like you can show like the teamwork, amongst that team is like, are they actually syncing well? Is the pit crew actually doing a good job? Because like what we saw in the drone race is where people made up the most time wasn't in the air. It was at the pits. Mm-hmm. It's like the people that had pit strategies made up time really quickly. And believe it or not, I think on our last race, it wasn't the fastest team that won. It was the most consistent team that won because everybody else eventually, I think it was at like in the lap in the 80s, the other guy forgot to power down. They ran out of batteries, crashed, and they took themselves out. First place guy finished because they were just the most consistent,
Oh, man.
They didn't have to be fast. So like a new level of strategy as opposed to individual ring racing and you're just flying that pack.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to go real fast and try to make people catch up, or do you want to be consistent and you're just going to make it up and people are going to make mistakes because they're trying to go fast?
Yeah. I think it's doable. The hard part is getting the teams together and then getting them at the location. I mean, but it's only 3 people. I don't think 3 people will be that bad. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, Ruben.
All right, let's do this.
So if I invite you out and I say, why don't you bring the SweepwingsRC team, would you do it?
I'd be like, I'm broke.
See, I
knew I'm like,
it.
Well, I ain't got that kind of cash.
Whoa, you went to Hawaii, okay?
I had to take the wife and kids. That was the only way we could go. So it was a family trip. So I used, personal and some business funds to go there. And man,
it's all right. You can do the same thing. You can make it a weekend trip.
I'll have my kids go out there and retrieve the planes.
We'll have
Well,
something for them to do.
I
They can
think-
chase some dogs.
Well, hold on, wait. Well, what's the date? Because the NAFPV is also this mid in July, I think. So when about is yours?
I think mine is July 20th. Now, dang it! Now you're gonna make me look it up.
July. Well, you gotta make sure you gotta have these notes ready to rock and roll. I think theirs is like the 28th, maybe.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think it might be the same weekend. That would be kind of bad.
Uh-oh.
July 28th. Mine's July 29th and serious.
Oh,
We might be at the same one. Okay, I guess that's a no. Elvin?
Because theirs is in New York, which is nice. It's not in Canada like it was last year, which was difficult because we had to go through the border patrol. They looked at me funny, and that it's nice because it's going to be in the States, which is cool. But it's 29th, man. Damn, that's going to
Are
be
you
tricky,
serious?
dude.
Yeah, that would be very tricky.
It's going
So,
to be tricky.
hey, we might have to scrap that idea. I mean, like, we really do want to put on a nice race, but if it's on the same weekend where all the wing pilots are going to go somewhere else, I mean, what are you going to do?
When is the date flexible, or they're like, no, you have to get it this date?
We have to get it this date because
Okay.
we're planning around so many other events and other people coming that once we
Gotcha.
set the day, we just can't change it because so many other people would then have to go look at their schedules and try to adjust and all that, and it's just not worth it. It really is at the end of the day.
Dang it. Okay, so you got two wing race events that weekend almost.
That would
That
suck.
weekend.
Actually. So tell me about the NAF. What was it called again? I'm sorry. I
N-
know I have heard of this one.
NAFPV.
That's right. I know this one. This is actually a huge one because
Yes.
they talk about this a lot.
Yes. I tell you what, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's I attended my first one in Canada. I had a blast. The way they did their course, it was super long. You can see the track on my YouTube page, but it's a long course. So which means if you have a really fast rig, it's perfect to kind of just open up and just let her rip. So and the guys are super fun. They catered, so they had food, and everyone ate. It was, man. It was
No,
fun.
that's the way to do it. You always want food at your
Yep.
events. I've learned that too, but it's a lot harder to do. It's
Hot
easy
dogs.
to say. It's a
Hot
lot
dogs
harder
and hamburgers. Bring a Weber out there.
to do. Bring away, dude. No Weber is gonna feed like 100 guys. Okay, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to bring like 50 Webers out there.
Couple packs of hot dogs, man. Yeah, hey, it's something to kind of put in your belly just to kind of keep you energized out there, because it's pretty hot out there, right?
It is pretty hot out there in July. Yeah. Even up north, it's probably going to be warm in July. That's
Yeah.
just how it is. Hold on. So are you making it to the NAFPV?
I was thinking about going to the NAFPV. That's the hard part. So that's why I don't say anything. I try to keep it on the DL. But these events, because if you say, "Oh, I'm going to go to that one," and then another event happens, you're like, "Oh crap, I can't go to that one." So I just play it whenever. And it's I think the NFPV was something I had my mind set on.
No, I think that's a great event because I've heard of so many good things about it. And, if it happens on the same weekend, then, it happens and we'll have to try next year or something like that. Or,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I can probably convince some of the wing guys to just show some demo flights or something.
Yeah.
Because not everybody makes it all the way up to New York. Even like I wouldn't drive up to New York from here. I would fly.
Yeah.
And for me, like it's debatable on whether or not I would want to fly all the way up there. To be honest,
How long is it from your place out there?
flying. I don't know. Like with one stop, probably 5 hours.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well,
That's
yeah.
not too bad. Well, I think
Well,
it's. I mean, for a trip. I mean, because I think mine took I think mine was like 12 hours, just because of like layovers and the hops.
it's always the layovers. They kill you every time. And then
Yeah.
like lately flying just kind of sucks because
Uh-huh.
you feel like, it's like everybody's a terrorist. Here,
Yeah.
go through this and it's like, okay. I'm just going to not travel.
I don't know if it was a real picture, but they said like the TSA were gonna do like the butthole exams, and so there's like a finger in the butthole, and it was like the TSA pre-check thingy. I might just go just for that.
You are a funny man.
Just to keep it interesting. But
I tell you
it's
what.
always weird because you got to travel with batteries. That's the only hard part.
Batteries are, dude. When I traveled to Hawaii and I had a bag full of batteries, that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I had on the way. It wasn't there. It wasn't traveling there. It was traveling back. That, like, there was a TSA person that absolutely had no clue what a LiPo battery is, and I'm like, it's a battery. You know what a battery is. It's the same thing on your phone, okay? That's all it is. And, like, literally I had to stay there for 20 minutes until the supervisor came by and said, like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, I'm glad the supervisor knew.
Oh, man. See, when I was traveling back home after the event, I was traveling back home. The hardest part was when you land, you have to run and haul ass to the next gate. But I was in like a separate gate to run back. So I had like my backpack and I was like hauling ass, and I almost missed my flight because like they must have had a ton of refugees or something trying to get in the checkpoint and, you know, through the divide, what is it? The safety check thingy. And I was like, dude, I'm going to be freaking late on this. There's so many people because I had to go through a whole nother section. And I was just running. I was like, dude, I'm not going to freaking make it. Like, my plane leaves right now. So that's another thing that I worry about. It's just, you got LiPos. You're going to miss your flight. You got hella people in your freaking way. And you can't stiff arm them.
Yes, you can. Dude, Ruben, you're huge. What are you talking about? Like, of all the people that can stiff arm people, you would be it, okay? I'm like 5'9", okay? I don't want to hear that from you.
Just pick you up by the head and move you aside.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've seen you, okay? You're like a linebacker. All right.
But, okay, yeah. Sorry, get sidetracked.
Okay. So, back to the team race.
Yes,
I will say this. Do you think the concept is good, though?
Yes.
Do you like the concept of having other people that you need to rely on to win a race?
Yes, because it brings variety. It brings personality. You might have a funny guy who's goofing around, and that's all entertaining for everyone to watch, especially for the highlight reels. Especially when they're good at what they do, and so they're like they can throw in a little bit of salt and pepper into that. They can dress it up a little bit. Also what is a very nice thing to have when you have a team is that you also can probably shoot for bigger sponsors for an event like this, which, then helps the team travel. It helps the event because now, they're paying, a little bit of sum to help the cause. And we need to do this because it needs to bring up what is possible for, like Zoe said in your last podcast, it's an automotive race. It's an automotive sport, and you're having it in Kentucky and NASCAR. I mean,
yeah, no,
you know what I mean.
We're big there, so
they're gonna see it, and it might generate some buzz. People are gonna ask about it, and heck, again, you might have DeWalt on your side. Like, oh crap, I got Makita, I got DeWalt, I got Budweiser. Stuff.
Budweiser.
So
now,
it's an expense. You have to do it to try it. You have to do it. So yeah, it makes it difficult for me, and that's why I usually don't say where I'm gonna go, so I don't lock myself in.
I apologize, Ruben. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, even though it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Hey,
well, you did the Drone X, right? Did you? Which one did you do? The Mega Drone X?
Yeah, I did that with Matt. Sorry, I did that with Joe Scully and also Frank Mattingly. So all of us contributed to making that happen. So, and it was great, and we learned a lot from it, and all of us benefited from it. But like at the same time, it's like these big events. You're right. You need a lot of sponsors in order to put them on because there's just so much expense.
Oh yeah.
But you also want to try something new at these events too, right? Because you can't be. In my opinion, if you call yourself a big event, you have to have some sort of not twist, but you got to have some sort of variety to it, right? You can't just say we're a big event, we only do one thing. I don't think that's enough nowadays. And that's just me, because like I want people that, you know, if they're going to pay the expense to come to my event, they can do more than one thing. You know, they can go race, they can go team race, they can freestyle, they can go watch or something. You know, I want them to be there saying, oh, look, I got a variety of things to choose from.
Is he now is the location that they gave you there, is it a specific location, or are you going to try to segment it out and kind of work on times of when events are going to take place, or are you just going to do like, boom, it's one thing, one spot, one location?
Well,
are you going to break it up?
So for us, and Joe Scully is actually going to be returning to help race direct this again. And what we're trying to do is actually try to have 3 events going at the same time. Because like at this point, we're pretty confident we can get 12 good feeds of video. We can say 8 of them is projected for racing, and then we can have 2 for freestyle, so that like the freestyle guys don't have to wait on the racing guys, so they can actually have their own event. You know, which is nice. Like anytime you put events like this event has to finish before this one event's going to run past its, you know, allocated time, and it screws over the other event, and that's what I don't want happening. You know, it's like, oh, look, listen, everybody knows in drone racing we're never on time. We're usually like 3 hours behind. That's just the truth of it. Okay, if you don't, that's just how it is. Unless
you're wings.
Like, be quiet. It's because there's only 8 of you. Okay, there's only 8 of you. All of you are always flying. Actually, the wing guys are pretty good at staying on time. I'll be honest with that. But hey, I remember Alex getting on some people and then making a goof himself. So it happens to everybody.
Oh yeah, it was you know, scheduling it, and for us, I think we had we had group A or 1A, 2 or 1B, and we segmented it up like that, and to get everything going. And that's when I usually don't yell, but I was yelling. I was like, all right, you know, I was trying to be like the relay yeller. It's like, come on, let's go, get your stuff ready, wait here, and then get to the seats, go, and then get off. Next person. And so that was fun. It was fun getting and watching these guys actually, you know, do their thing and then move on. New guys do their thing, move on. And it was nice to see that. And we're like, oh crap, we're really moving through here. And that's when we finished early. We're like, all right, peace out, guys. It's been real.
And that's when I got jealous, because I was like, I got another 6-8 hours of this. Oh crap, it's a lot of time. But you know, I will say one thing though. Like Alex roped us in to help judging the second day, I think, or was it the third day? I don't remember anymore. So we were glad to help, right? And I will say this: it's really hard to judge a wing race line of sight. It's like it's an inexact science, and like I could have sworn one of us was going to get into a fist fight with another pilot. I was like, oh shoot, this is real.
I was asked to judge. You know, so we were looking out at the field, and to our right there was that one white flag. Okay, that one standalone flag, or is it a yellow flag? Or anyways, it was the one far to the right of us, looking out to the field. And I was a judge, and I was judging Jeremiah, and I was like, dude, and he was cutting the flag, and I'm like, dude, this is not gonna go good. Like, what do I do? Oh, like he missed. Like he was turning so sharp. He was, you know, when you eyeball it, you're like, okay, that's inside the flag. There was no, you know, kind of drift and then you turn. He was on the line and then over, and you're like, oh God, that's so difficult to judge that. And then when I was like, dude, I went up to him. I was like, you're like right there, dude. I got you 3 times. And he was like, what? He's like, we're going to check the DVR. And I'm like, dude, I was like, I understand the position for the judges and how difficult it is. But, you know, at least when I missed spots, I was like, I missed I missed the flag. So they were like,
DVR
no.
does not help you.
I know.
Sorry. Like, you can't see crap on the DVR because, like, you don't see the flag. It's like,
when you're banking for a turn and you have, you know, like I fly with the 1.2 lens, so it's really wide, and you can't tell the flag down below. That's why I've been wanting these big old tall air gates, these air cones that their company sells them. If you look at Flight Test, where they go paragliding, they go to this paragliding park or whatever, but they have these huge cones that were out there, and a guy stands next to it, and you see how tall it is. But if you hit that or you cut the corner, you's gonna get thrown off. Like you ain't gonna make it. So I think that would be a good idea for the future of having something where your ass better make it around it. Like don't cut the corner, and like when you cut, you're gonna get hit.
But see, that's the thing though. Like those cones, I guarantee you, they're a pain to set up and to get upright or whatever fan blows on them. That's the problem.
That is true. But if you are the guy that makes it happen, you are a freaking legend.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
Come on.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
So,
hey, if I make it happen in 2018, then I need a guarantee from you. You will make it out there with a team.
I'll put you. I'll put you all over my social feed and be like, "Why is the best organizer ever?" Like, hey. but those cones, like, because I was pricing the big. I think it's like a marathon tube looking air thing. I don't know what the hell it is. It's like a bridge. It's like an air bridge, but it's huge. It's like 4 lanes wide or bigger, and it was like $3,500, but you only need one. So figuring out, let's say if you do run an event, you can put it to your area, someplace in your location, and that way transportation would be easy. And then you have a couple of these cones, or cones at the main turns where or out at a distance. That way, if you cut, like, we're going to see you, but if you're up close, you can have a spotter there, say, hey, I watched him, he made the turn or whatever. But if you have it out there, he was cutting the corner. So
here's my second gripe, man.
Okay.
And this is to you and guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally picking on Ruben now,
okay.
even though he doesn't race
it.
anyways.
I got thick skin.
You got thick skin? No, you don't. No. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I know you do. I don't like how, okay, like's a strong word. I disagree with how far out you fly away from the spectators. I think you lose the advantage of why it's so cool to watch a ring race when you go out that far. I understand that it's cool for the pilots, but if you're trying to grow that audience community or trying to just grow your own community, when you fly to the point where they can't hear it or see it, it's like drone racing. It's like they can't hear or see it. Why would they be interested?
Well, with that, and that's what we were kind of like talking about that in the background is the courses are pretty small. Well, we discussed that with Hugo in my other podcast a couple episodes back. But the wings were doing like 130, 120, or over 110, consistent on a small course. And it was the wings were small, but it's still hard to see because we're going at a small wing size on a small course. Yes, it's easier to see, but it's so small you're not able to kind of watch these things open up and just let it loose. So how you're saying like a team race, and what I'm thinking is a bigger aircraft. And keep it in a distance where it's still comfortable.
I'm telling you this right now. If I run the team race, it's just going to be a big oval. Okay, and you guys are just going to be stacked up because it's a big oval.
Starting, actually, you know what? I would be with you on that one just to start it out, and just to basically generate buzz. Right? You're going to see big ass wings, and they're going to be doing laps, and then. Say, a next year race or race down the way, have it a little bit further and start making a turn and then adapting. Yeah. You have to train the public to do these things and to recognize. It's kind of like us with how the Doritos commercials are persuading us to do this stuff and consume the products that they're trying to feed down our eye sockets. But oval course, yes. Yes, I'm totally with you on that. And then, evolve into a different type of course. And, they'll turn, but it's big. I'm thinking big logos, nice loud. Oh, you've heard the motors. They're pretty damn
Oh
loud.
yeah.
And
They're great.
yeah.
They really are. And like, it's really all about, if you're gonna fly wings, definitely try to showcase your advantages. And the advantages of wings is it's loud and it's got a lot of surface area.
Yeah.
So you got to showcase those two things and as much as possible.
Yeah. Definitely. So, in the future, I probably won't show this off. You're the only one that'll probably see it.
Oh, look at this. Holy crap, that thing is large. That's just the body. Holy crap. Like, is this like what, an AP rig? Is
No,
this a
that's
photography rig?
That's something that I would I'm hoping to do something to kind of show advertising space.
Oh, okay.
And to show how, I guess, to kind of test how fast it can go. And when I know there's going to be there's a limit for something this big, and especially if it's that big and it's being modular, there are some defects in a build, especially when I build it. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to create something to kind of reduce the vibration or drag on a seam or something like that. Like I'm just going to build it and see what happens. But it's to generate and let people see what is possible. And so if you have an event, I say, hey, why? I got something that you might be interested in. And for me to fund these and produce them at your event, it's an idea that can help get the word out and promote.
See, now I will say this, like a wing of that size, if you can get it to where it can be fast, but like it's, like you can show a reasonable degree of safety so that I can show it to my insurance people to saying that I can do this. You can almost do the modern day version of a Goodyear blimp, right? It has the big logo, and then it just has a course that it flies, and it just fly. It doesn't even have to fly super fast, right? But it just has to be visible and fast, and people are in awe of the size as it flies by, and then as it speeds away, that's when you put your foot on the gas and you let it launch, right?
Oh yeah.
But when it's flying, near the audience, just go nice and slow.
Yeah, just nice and just coast by. That's why when I had the Dreadnought flying at Worlds, when I did they go fly lower. They wanted me to fly lower, and I was like, I know there's people there, so I just kind of just putted by, just so everyone can kind of see it. But I kept it at a high distance only because my fear of the AMA guy was there. Is like, just keep it up higher. And then when I flew the 12S Behemoth, they wanted me to go lower, and I'm like, dude, if this thing freaking hits you, you realize you will explode. Like, you'll be a turkey in a grill of a car. It's just poof. But there's safety risks, and I do understand that there is that. But you need to show them, what it can do, and show them a frame, and then let's say if you get some backing, then you can produce something that's a little bit more higher grade. It's show them the proof or the concept, and then you have the final product. And that's
I think that's a great idea, actually. I think if you can produce a wing of that size, put a nice size logo on it, and convince people that like I don't know if you keep up with the commercial side of things when it comes to multi-rotors, but a lot of the commercial multi-rotors nowadays, they come with redundancy systems. I've seen like one unit that had 3 redundancy systems. So literally it has to fail 3 times before it goes down.
Yeah.
It has that many backup systems, right? And that's just so that they can say it's safe, right?
Yeah.
But if you can do that, and then you can let it fly autonomously around, just advertising you in a arena area, I think it would be so unique. People would say, "Yeah, come on down.
Yep.
I want to see this at my event."
Well,
You know?
that's the idea. That is the idea. Um, Back, which I probably I don't. I'm not going to say anything now because what happens if I say something, somebody else is going to listen and then they'll do it. I'll be like, son of a gun, damn it. That's my
That's
idea.
true.
But
That's very true.
you know what I mean. So, but this one's just going to be is going to be for fun, and I need to test it proof like anything else. I need to test it. I'll test it in my area and just to see what it can do. Dive bomb it, see where the stress is. If it does fold, then I'll know where to reinforce it. But you know, it's just for testing. So that is in the background, and if I do get it to work, then you know I'll try to bring it down at an event.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people would be really cool. They'd be really excited because there's something about flying something that's bigger than you are. That's kind of unique, you know, because I mean, that's kind of the excitement of like big things, right? Yep. Is that you go up to it, you realize, holy cow, this thing's taller than I am.
The shadow is huge. It's such a big shadow.
This is the reason why, like when like the guys fly the warbirds and they tell you their story. There's like 80,000 hours and $100,000 into this thing, and they're gonna fly it. And I just cringe every time because like, there's no way I would ever fly that.
What is it? You ever seen that on the RC? Is it RC Universe? It's the big. It's like a B-10 or B-2 bomber. They have I think there's a black one and there's a silver, like a chrome looking one. It's got like 4 or I don't know. It's got a crap load of motors on it, and you're like, oh my god. And you know what? It floats really well. But if it goes down, and you're like, son of a gun, that's. But it's
scared to death. I would be scared to death.
It's an awe factor. You're like, oh my god. So like when you guys were talking before on the podcast with Zoe, you know, her intrigue into these X1 crafts, and you know, just seeing them that big, and it like I was standing back only because you know, props of fury coming at you, and they were noticeable. They were very noticeable. I can see them, and when they fell out of the sky, you're like, son of a, that's scary as hell.
I was like, holy cow, that's like 4 lawnmowers that are falling out of the
sky. But you know, the event was basically it was a taster, right? We were there. It was at an AMA field. There was lines where we had to stay back, and they flew it in the course. So I mean, it was fine, but you know, for us to get a perspective of how big it is, it was pretty freaking crazy. Like, those things are huge.
So like, you know, because I'm kind of interested in the X1 class, right? And, you know, like hearing about their trials and all the tribulations that they're going through, which is great, you know, because somebody's got to be the pioneer, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is like, okay, how do I get a spectator that's going to be able to watch this safely, but yet is close enough to where it's worth it for them to come down?
Yeah.
And it comes down to is like, you know what? I'm just going to have to like encase them in bulletproof glass. Yeah. That's basically what I'd have to do.
Fishbowl.
Like, I'm just going to have to build them a bulletproof glass cage, you know? And it's like, is that feasible? That's the question.
I think, you know, certain locations, if it is, but I think the fishing net is a cheaper is a cheaper way to do it. And then if you have like 2 layers, I think it's still pretty doable. You wouldn't?
I don't know. Fishing nets are definitely doable. I just don't know if it's strong enough. You know,
oh, dude, I bet you if my big ass runs into it going 60 miles an hour, I'm gonna get. It's gonna stop me.
Yeah, that's you know what, X1 guys, we'll make a video about this. We'd all watch. We're all super interested.
Yes.
Triple layer of fish wire net. Can it stop one of your X1 drones? We all want to know. That would be
I think it could. I think because I bought some fishing net for like an air balloon. So I was gonna blow up this balloon and it was gonna sit inside the fishing net. And it was I got it on Amazon and it was pretty cheap, but it's so cheap that you can just do a couple test runs and see if it does stop it. But I think, you know, if you can find a location that has these poles, kind of pre-done, or I don't know how easy it is to put poles in the ground. Maybe someone owns property and say, hey, look,
That's
can we rent your
actually,
location and anchor some posts in the ground, and then just tack up your fishing line, make yourself a little area. And it's a test run. You have to spend money to figure out, if the concept is going to work. It's, people are like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. Well, you got to spend money and make sure it will work. Like it's part of R&D when we all do it. I spend money on a 12S build, and that's not cheap at all. The motor was like $450 for the motor, and it was a handmade motor. So
ouch.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's money
cool.
that I'm not going to get back. So it worked. It proved that the concept is possible. So I think that's what these guys who want to run an event, they need to do it. Like,
I think because I was actually specking it out because like these ideas have floated through my head, and except when they float through my head, I actually put dollar amounts to what
mhm,
floats through my head. And building a cage to support plexiglass, believe it or not, is not that bad.
mhm,
It's the plexiglass and transporting that much plexiglass because
yes.
it's like, oh, I can do this one tunnel. How many people can fit this one tunnel? Is like 20. So how much plexiglass do I need to do 300? And you're like, oh, that's a different story.
Well, that's what if you can utilize some natural structures that are there, say a tree,
Yeah.
have a tree, or again, going back to a landowner, if someone's out there and they're in contact with the landowner, discuss what it would cost for them to rent a small location. And can I put posts in the ground? I mean, obviously, if you have cows, the cows aren't going to run into the post. They're not. Well, I don't know if they're that dumb, but
Believe it or not, as long as there's grass,
uh-huh,
to set up post and netting is not that difficult. I've already looked into this,
uh-huh,
and it's not that bad. It's the expense of getting all that netting and then all the posts, because it's at the end of the day, it's a lot of metal that you have to buy, and it's
yeah,
like it all adds up. But like literally, if I were to run an X1 class, or I would like run like a juggernaut style race wing for a
uh-huh.
team race, I want like literally to have the audience kind of like in a netting area to where you're just flying right above them. Like
Oh,
literally
gotcha.
at one place,
Okay.
like the finish line's right above you. You just see it just whip past you at 120 miles an hour.
Well, what I've seen is in the paintball. My buddy runs or owns a paintball field. Well, two of them, and they have A and B side. And the one side has this kind of like a domed out of PVC pipe, and it's
Hmm.
pretty big. Like a bunch of people can fit in there, and they just ran a fishnet over it,
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
and
I've totally seen that.
or they put the camo kind of material over it, and it's. I mean, I think it's something. It's a barrier where it's gonna reduce the actual force of an object, or put two
And
layers up there. You know what I mean?
it's hey, we're all speculating, but
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
whole point is that if you're gonna run something that dangerous, like you want to be close to it, like NASCAR. Let me relate it to NASCAR, okay?
Okay.
People who haven't been to a NASCAR track, okay, when they whip past you on the stadiums, if you are standing right at the fence line, right, you can actually feel the rubber spray you, and it is still hot. Okay, it's like, okay,
Oh
it's like
Jesus.
there is no feeling, like you cannot reproduce that feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, this is why people go to NASCAR tracks and do that, or and they're not there the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Other like there's also a lot of socializing that goes in the NASCAR track.
Oh hell
That's
yeah.
that's
A lot
part
of
of
drinking.
having fun. Hey now, but the experience is kind of unique, right?
Yes.
And like every single time a NASCAR event comes by, and they're not all that often. It's like
Hmm.
4 times a year. People remember that experience as, you know what, I want to go back and relive that experience, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
why they go back, and that's why it's such a big event, because you're never going to feel that experience anywhere else. It's impossible because you just don't have that type of dangerous machine run past you.
Yeah. Or what about build like a trench, not an actual, but more like a tapered trench. It would be now a lot of this stuff I think would have to be at a designated track, almost like a skate park, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let's just say we catch the ear of an entrepreneur who wants to, play with the idea of making an FPV track, and they invest in the property and some light building, right?
Some light building.
And they dig a trench kind of like area, and they put a metal or a mesh net over it, and the people can walk through, and they're literally walking through part of the track. And if they want to wait there, and they can see, because it's tapered, right? It's not going to be a straight pit. It's going to be tapered, and it's anchored at the top with the net running across, and they can watch the wings go like under a gate and pew, just buzz on by. I'm just saying.
I think that would be pretty cool. Hey, you know what? Hey, I think we're geniuses, and we should go build this. Hey, dude. Any VCs out there want to give us about $40 million? We'll make this happen.
Any angel companies out there who are listening and want to invest in a little bit of something?
Contact Ruben. Contact Ruben.
We got ideas here. Well, the thing is, who knows what's going to happen? I keep saying that. I'm very curious about what's going to happen with us, because when you have a designated race spot like NASCAR, that means you have the insurance company's attention, because it is now a fixed location, and you can increase the safety on it by doing what we just talked about, a netted type area. And you can create walkways that makes it safe for the spectators. You can have a sky bar where they're inside the sky bar with, plasma TVs. Like we just went to, we had sushi for my daughter's birthday, and they had, TVs up there, and TVs are dirt cheap nowadays. So in the sky bar, if you want to grab a beer, you got all the monitors linked up with hopefully HD video by then. I'm just speaking out loud, and it's AC. Remember, we're at a designated location now. So, dude, I'm just saying, if you let me design something, it's going to be badass. And I'm not just saying that. It's going to be badass.
Send all your emails to Ruben LLC. He's taking money now.
Hit me up. Just let me know. I'll help you out. Shoot. All I want is a small fee and free tickets anytime I want to go there and race.
It's not a bad deal. I
just want a Lamborghini Diablo.
No, you don't. No, you want a wing that you can strap to your back and you can go flying.
Oh man.
You want to be who is it?
Well,
is it Rocket Man?
I'm actually scared of heights, so.
What?
Well, 10-foot high is pretty high for me.
Listen, everybody's scared of heights. It's whether or not you're willing to look down.
Well, I'll either piss myself or shit myself. Either one. If I get any higher, something's going to come out. I'll panic.
We're going to have to test this.
Well, I work in the aerospace industry. I work for a company out here, and I'm in the maintenance side. So I see a lot of parts that are fatigued. And they say, it's stainless steel, or it's, it's high tensile strength. And I'm like, I don't know about that, because I just replaced that and, with the spec'd parts, and it's still breaking. I don't know about this, guys. We need something stronger. So
don't say this on the podcast. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
That's okay. I don't care. They're going to lay me off anyways. Well, I'm guessing, but they don't know who I am. But it's just crazy. I think it's totally doable, man. If somebody invests, or even a little bit of money, like even a little bit, it's a good. I mean, you look at DRL, you look at DR1, you look at who else have we got out there? I mean, the other companies.
Joint Champions League over in Europe. Mm-hmm. They're the next big one. But yeah, like DRL is the only one that hit it out of the park, and that's because their CEO already new investors. So
Yes.
like he's already built a niche sport
Yes.
into a bigger sport. So it's, the rest of us has to go the hard way.
What they need to do is they need to put their ear on the internet and listen and find these guys like us and say, hey, I think we got an idea here. And I'll be like, cha-ching.
Ruben now is in the construction business.
Oh,
he
God.
no longer builds wings.
You ever seen that treehouse guy on was it the TLC or whatever? He builds tree houses for people.
Yes, I know exactly what you're
That
talking about.
dude,
I watched.
that's freaking amazing.
You know what's funny was that I watched the first episode of that while I was waiting for my car to get tires changed, and that was the only thing on. It was still very interesting. I was kind of peeved that my tires got finished before the show got finished. I wanted to see what the house looked like.
It's good. I mean, that's the stuff right there. And there's guys out there who are listening who have the same idea, and it's we got to do something. We got to do something before somebody else does it. Again, like what Zoe was saying, you need to do something before somebody else does it, and just takes all the steam and takes all the thunder. You're like, God damn it, I had that idea, but I just couldn't follow through with it.
Okay, so I'll ask you a question. You
Go
went
ahead.
down and saw X1.
Yes.
Does it scratch an itch in you to build a multi-rotor? Any itches?
Dude, just put it like this. The multi-rotor that I would like to design would be 12S with the motors that I had on my wing.
You are crazy.
It's
Hold
not.
on.
I look at.
Hold on. That's $1,600 in motors.
Well, no one's gonna do it.
That's $1,600 in motors.
Who else is gonna do it, right? Who else is gonna do it? Okay, so
I encourage you.
So what here? I don't know if I showed you guys, but I have an old Nighthawk with the extra thick arms. I think they're like 4 or 5 millimeter arms. And so I got the middle frame, the middle section of it, and I cut out chunks of aluminum and I recreated the middle frame. I bolted it all together, and on the quad, I put 3,000 kV NTM 28. I think they're 2835 motors, or no, yeah, I think they're 2835. I gotta check. It's on the wall. Motors, and I put 6x4 props on 3S, and just at the throttle up, it shot up, and it just stayed there. And I was like, oh my God, it worked.
It worked.
And these are airplane motors. So, and these are rated for 4S on 6x4. So 6x4 prop, APC prop, on a 3S, and it can take 4S on the same prop. So I even put 40 amp air ESCs by T-Motor, which, I don't know why I use T-Motors. I don't, use their brand, but that's what they had at the time.
How do you like those ESCs? Are they anything special? They sure branded it as something special.
I don't really like T-Motors that much. One of their sales, I'm gonna tell you the story. One of the sales guys reached out and he wanted my information to help them build a part. And I said, look, I'll help you for a cost. I am your consultant. You're coming to me wanting free info. That's not how it works. There's a price. And jumping on a kind of a small tangent, or not a tangent, but a side note, is that if any company is going to go to you and pick your brain, that's valuable information that you need to charge them. Don't give it out for
something.
Free.
It doesn't have to be money.
Yes.
It just has to be something in an equivalent exchange.
Exactly. So they're going to profit off of it, and don't say you're not going to make anything of it. You need to do to get something out of it, because that's your knowledge is worth something. So, they came to me, they asked me, hey, we're familiar with you, we follow you, or whatever, however they word it. It sounds funny as hell. But I'm like, look, I'll help you out as best I can. I know what works. I know what I use, and I like the performance. Can you do it? And if I help you, there's a price. And they never got back to me. So they just said, fuck it. I said, okay, well then fuck you guys. So the hell with them, not even worried about it, because, That's one company that out of all the companies that are out there, right? All of those companies that are out there, I actually found a company that is unknown to the hobby world. There, when Tim was making fun of my drawer here of motors, it's because I found the motors that work really nicely and that can take, high amps. So all I need to do is take the motor that I've already proven that works and put it on an X1 class. So
That's a good idea.
think
You should
about it.
totally do it.
It's not difficult. And the frame, what I need is or I don't know if whoever's out there, but I need a molded carbon fiber frame, and molded in a way. Hold on, molded in a way where it's infused with the tubed frame in the arms, but molded on the outside, sandwiched, where it's the arms are thin, but they're wrapped in. They kind of McDonald's shape. They kind of arch.
Okay.
So your motor goes in this way, and they arch. You guys are probably not going to see this, but hopefully you understand. So your motor goes on the inside of the arch, and that way it has.
Okay, I get you.
It has kind of a torsion strength, and torsion strength would be more of the tube frame that's in the middle.
So, are you trying to prevent flex?
Yes.
Is this the idea? Okay.
So you infuse a round tube in the middle, and on the outside is the molded part, and then you can just kind of clamp it together with a mechanism that I haven't figured out yet, and then you put your motors on the inside or on the outside, and then all your gear on the inside. Remember, you want it fast and you want it strong.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the goal, right?
Yes.
Is that you want the frame, because at the end of the day, I mean, so in the X1 class, what's different, right, is that every crash should be important.
Yep.
But at the same time, it shouldn't knock out the team completely. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it should be repairable within a set period. It could be 15 minutes, could be 20, so that you could see the crew scrambling to replace the arms and getting it back in the air or something like that. But it's hey, you should build that. If it's somebody might adopt it for the X1 class. You never know, right?
Well, I work in the field that I work in is aerospace. So we build high pressured vessels that is spun, or it's composites. It's spun carbon fiber, so it goes into a resin, and then they wrap it. The machines wrap it, and these vessels can take 2,000-3,000 psi, and so they're very strong. But a carbon fiber that's out there, like Rock West, carbon fiber companies that are out there, and they have tubed carbon fiber rods, and they're relatively pretty strong. So if you can, figure out a way to bond, a tubed arm and a flat surface, some way to kind of sandwich those two pieces together. And again, you're going with bigger motors, and to kind of house that. So like the motors I run, they're like 1,300 kV motors, but they're freaking massive, and they spin 10-inch props on 6S, on 8S. Believe it or not, it works, because I'm in a different field here.
Right. So let's see. I know 2,000 kV on 6S is about at max range is about 50,000 RPMs, which is a lot. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like 30,000 is average for a multi-rotor at peak range. So we're well exceeding that. So on 12S holy cow, that's really fast.
Okay,
dude.
So
your propellers would die.
Okay, I don't know the RPM range. So okay, we'll look at, and I'm just going to throw a number out there, which is close to the motor that I have. It's 750 kV. 750 kV on 12S. It's spinning a 6x4 prop APC. It's a sport prop, so it's super thick. Now, I had a composite prop here. It was like a Mastercraft car or whatever. And when I did the initial test, it spun up so fast that it literally exploded. As I threw it, it had an initial go. And then when I finally went up to full throttle, probably about 40 feet past me, it just said, poof. That was it. It just threw the propeller off. But the APC one is holding strong.
See, this is something that I actually truly believe, because I've heard it from enough people now that I truly believe like there are not too many manufacturers out there that actually know how to make a prop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like at the lower levels, most of these props will perform well because they're just not they aren't asked to give a whole lot.
Yes.
But
Yes.
when you get into the extremes and like real performance, what you're seeing is a lot of these propellers can't do it, except one company that consistently pops up is APC.
Yes.
And that's because their engineering is really good.
Oh yeah. Well, they have like, so what I usually like to get, and it's a lower output, since we are talking about, you know, the kind of, we can reference the X1 class and kind of like the stuff that I've been doing, is the APC sport side has a thicker main body compared to the electric. The electric is a little bit more slim and thinner. You do gain higher watts and a little bit higher amps with the electric, but the sports have been a lot lower in terms of output. But, you know, for me, cranking up that extra 12S system, that it held really strong. So I think we have the technology. Let's put it that way. We have the technology. We just needed to design the craft around
to harness all this power.
There you go. We need to figure it out. So I'm not a composite manufacturer. I don't know how. I don't have any way to facilitate that here. So if anyone's listening, if they're interested, you let me know, and then we'll show it off to Wai and see what he thinks. Maybe he can show it to his angel provider.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing, right? I would have absolutely no issues running an X1 class, running multiple ones of those, and then just having, you know, like 12 cameras recorded and trying to tell the story of that race.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is how many people can handle such a machine?
Not
you know
too
what
many.
I mean? Because like
not too many.
That's the thing. Like you have to build up towards that, and like you can't be like crashing them like it's nothing.
Well, you know, even okay, I was starting out and I was playing with 3S. 3S was just, you know, the run of the mill stuff back in the day. And that's what I was familiar with. That's what I was used to as a greenhorn, as a newbie, you know, just starting out. And then I finally started to venture into 4S. And I was like, wow, it's night and day. Like you gain an extra, well, for my range, you get an extra 200 extra watts, which is crazy good. And then, okay, well then 4 cell was, you know, kind of the thing. And then everyone started to go faster. So the guys on the East Coast were going like, you know, 5S. And I'm like, oh crap. And then they did 6S. And I was like, son of a gun, come back here.
I'm being left behind.
So I was like, you know what? It's time to do a 6S build. And so I built a 6S behemoth here. And believe it or not, it only runs 830 watts of power, which is about 8 pounds of push for a 5-pound wing. So that's how I use the watts to kind of gauge, you know, performance. And I'll say, okay, well, it did really good. And the amps on a 6S system, it was only like in the 30s, like mid 30s. So it was safe. It was the gear was safe. And I had really good performance at, you know, what I had. So, you know, then I was like, you know what, let's try 12S. Let's see what happens. And yes, it's a little nerve wracking, but once you figure out, you know, playing with the voltage and stuff like that. And I talked with Chris Click from Right Wing, and he was like, you know, when you go up in voltage, you need to balance out your prop and your KV. And then, you know, I started to play with props and KV and figuring out the juggle. There's a juggle effect there. So if you over prop, obviously, the higher the pitch say, you know, 6x4, 6x6, 6x7, you know, and then go up and up. Any prop or any pitch that goes up, the more amps you're going to start to burn, and you effectively will reach your gear. It'll get hot, and then you have a failure. So it's just understanding what will work. I feel like I just rambled off, but I don't know if that made any sense. Does that make sense?
It does. No, it does. You have to be a little bit of a gearhead, but anybody who's built anything understands that, the more aggressive the prop is,
Mm-hmm.
the harder the motor has to turn and the more torque it
Yep.
needs in order to actually turn it. And like everything translates to heat with a motor, right? The
Yep.
harder it works, the more heat it produces, and eventually that heat will kill a motor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And when you hear the people say, the guys out there say, "Oh, my ESC burnt. Oh, my motor fried." What happens is you overamped it. You've exceeded the rating of that ESC. You have exceeded the motor rating. If it's 60 amps, it can maybe see 70 amps, but don't do it too much, because they give you a max rating for a reason. They don't want you to burn it up. So when they say, "Oh, my ESC's caught on fire," it's like, it's because you overdone it. You've exceeded, or you're at that limit, and you found a failure in that. It's like stress testing.
Stress testing. Everything's stress testing in the hobby world.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
you break something. Oh, that was a stress test.
Oops, damn it.
That's how you justify your crashes. Oh, that was a stress test. I just want to see if it could crash and survive.
So are you, for your event, are you going to see? Are you going to take a look at it at the X1 class? Or are you going to maybe?
Actually,
I don't know.
talked about it. We talked about maybe running an exhibition, because the problem is like they're all out in your area and they have the same trouble, going to events. They got travel costs, and like for the X1 guys, they travel as a team, so that's even more of an expense. So I think a few of the guys talked about like maybe sending one or two over and like running some exhibition stuff. That would be kind of cool, just to like nothing racing wise, but I think it still might be pretty cool to see for people around here, just to get their interest.
Yeah. And now is your event, people can come in and just, is it free admission?
Oh yeah, totally.
Or is it have to pay to get in?
We might actually have to. It's free admission, but we might have to charge for parking, because you're actually entering the NASCAR track.
Gotcha.
So you're actually in the center, and if you're a NASCAR fan, you're gonna get access to certain areas that you don't normally get, like the media area is pretty cool, where like the media sits and where the drivers go to sit and to talk. That's gonna be open to us. So there's a lot of nifty areas that you get to see. The freestyle guys are gonna love it, because like they're gonna have access to fly in certain places that a NASCAR track, you can't go fly doing that stuff, So like, I think the freestyle guys are gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh wow.
We're gonna quarantine them somewhat, but we're gonna try to move the spots around so that they're gonna come back with some better video than the racing guys. The racing guys are gonna come back with like Fruit Loops track time, but the freestyle guys are gonna be like, "Oh, I flew here, I flew over here, I flew in the stands." And be like,
"Oh man, dude, dang it, yeah, they're gonna have a blast. They're especially racing at a freaking NASCAR track, dude. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Holy crap.
That's like the wing. We're gonna allow like anybody that shows up in the ring. If you sign up for freestyle, we'll let you freestyle with a wing too. So if you can make it around a 5 mile track, we'll let you do it. But I don't think you can.
You need some big batteries, man. You need some big batteries.
Dude, that is a long track, and like it's for real when you get down there and you're like, this is a really big facility. You just don't realize it until you start walking in the inner areas, and you're like, just to walk down pit lane. Like on TV, they look so small, right? It's like they can barely fit. But then when you stand there, it's like, this is actually really huge. It's just that when you cram that many people into one spot, it looks small.
Oh, dude. Well, the event sounds like it's gonna be a freaking blast, man. I think having something like that where everyone is going to be able to go check out and be that close to something as big as NASCAR, dude.
And dude, we talked to the event guys, and we're going to try to have the pace car out there, and you can just pay to ride. So you can ride in the pace. Dude. Like those pace cars, they are no joke. They are fast.
They have to. I think they have to be fast enough to kind of hang with the cars, at a certain mile per hour. But yeah, they're no joke. They're tuned.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. I truly believe that if for nothing else, come just for the experience of saying, hey, it's a first for me to be at a NASCAR track, and I'm there to do what I love to do as a hobby, as a sport, as whatever.
Oh heck yeah, dude! It's like You know, it's putting those memories on your wall, you know, like guys who've been to all these locations. Dude, it's memories. You can't, you need that stuff.
Yep, you can't take those away,
Yep.
and I think they're worth it. I've come to the conclusion if you're gonna go buy a $2,000 piece of toy, or you can travel somewhere, every once in a while you gotta say, I'll wait for later. I'm gonna go travel while I'm still young and have fun.
Yep.
You know?
Oh hell yeah.
You got to do that.
And
for Ruben,
yeah, go ahead.
And for Ruben, it's helping me dig a ditch so that we can have audience members underground.
I think no, I do think that's a cool idea. I mean, because if you're into the ground, you know, obviously securedly, you can kind of like walk into kind of the trench. And
I like that
out.
idea. I actually do.
It'd be cool to see. That's for damn sure.
I think you have an idea. I just don't think anybody's crazy enough to go try to build.
I know. You got to figure out how much it's going to cost.
We're gonna have to do it.
Possible future tracks in the making. I don't know. You know, like Marine World, that you can go into like this tunnel and all the sharks are flying over you, and they're like, well, not flying, they're swimming, and you're like, what?
Those are cool, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they need that. I think that's what they need, or we need. Cool. We need that. But yeah, one day we'll be here. If you guys are listening, hook us up. we got ideas, guys. We got ideas.
We got ideas here in FPV RAW. You should come and join us. Join the insanity,
please. Is there anything else that you want to bring up here? I mean, we were talking about all stuff, you know, prior and before we kicked off, but still, you know, we're like usually random stuff.
It's perfectly fine. I think it was a lot of fun. Definitely invite me back. We got to ramble some more. I got more stuff to pick your brain on. Okay. You know, I'm a wing noob, but I'm also one to where, you know, like I'll listen to anybody to try to pick up tidbits, because eventually I might build a wing.
Yeah.
Or what most likely will happen is somebody's going to ask a question about a wing, and I can direct them to the right spot, because that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm more than open to say I have no clue how to build it, but you know what? I know a lot of smart people, and they've already answered this question. You can go here to get the answer.
Yes. Oh yeah, because I'm a noob too with multi-rotors. I try to, you know, for us wing guys, we talk, especially for the podcast. You know, I try to, you know, base it on fixed wing, flying wing type, because it's, you know, it's what I know. And that general of equipment, but for quads, it's going to be good to kind of get some guys on who are familiar. That way I can ask them questions, because I'm a noob. I'm still a noob at flying quads. So
everybody's a noob at something, you know. Hey, you audience members that listen to FPV RAW, let us know if you like me having on and picking Ruben's brain.
Yeah.
And giving him a hard time. I especially like giving him a hard time. You know?
Well, for sure. You're more than welcome. You can come on anytime. If you have any like new information or any races or events, dude, for sure, come on down and tell everyone, because it's another outlet. You have your outlet, and then you have this outlet here. So it's utilizing, you know, these little pocket outlets to reach more viewers, and that's what we need to do, is do that.
Yeah, and likewise, you know, you're always welcome onto the FPV podcast. You're one of the few that you have a lot of interesting things to say, and you know, it's always fun. You know, that's all that matters. It's got to be fun, you know. Yep. And poking fun. It's in a fun way, you know, because if it's not, I'm in the construction realm. So we're constantly poking fun at each other, and it's what we do, because it actually creates a nice bond, and we test our partner's buttons, and you're like, hey, you know, don't make fun of his wife because, you know, she walks funny or whatever reason, but we goof around all the time on a daily. So yeah, it's pretty fun. But we'll get you back on here for sure. Why? Hey, it was great to be on. Good talking to you again, and we'll have to do it again soon. You know, I'm sure I'm sure we're going to have plenty of interesting storylines to follow in 2017, whether it's in wings, quads, or just. I'm not talking politics with you. If you tell me to come on to talk politics, I'm going to defriend you.
You got it, man. Okay, we'll let you go. We'll let you get some rest because it's pretty late over there, right?
Yeah, it's getting to about 11 o'clock.
Ooh,
but
okay,
hey, it's fine though. Great talking to you.
All right, buddy. So we'll get you on next time, and I would like to say thank you very much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Love being on.
All right. Well, with that, I'll let everyone else go, and you guys can enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, you're driving and tuning in and listen to us ramble off about stuff. So with that, I think that'll be it. So you guys have a good day, and until next time, guys, peace.